guys, Sarge 1911 here. We're going to talk about something special to me, and I'll tell you why in just a minute, but let's kind of get started. You know, I said something the other day that maybe I shouldn't have, but I don't care. I said it anyway. I'm going to say it again. I like big butts and I cannot lie. I like big bullets and I cannot lie. 375 H&H Magnum. 375 Holland Magnum. That's what I'm talking about right there. Big bullets. I love big bullets. You know, I love 50 cals. I love 338s. I love 375. I love big 230 grain 45 ACP. I like big bullets and I cannot lie. What I'm gonna do, I got a box of Barnes Vortex here. These are 300 grain bullets. Right here, they're 300. Let me stick it up there and maybe you can get a look at it. So we got a box of 300 grain Vortex, 375 H&H Magnum, and then now we're going to get to what I'm going to do with it. Before me, I have a rifle. I'm planning to take an opportunity to go to Africa and hunt some dangerous game. That's right. If that bitch ain't big enough to eat me, I want to get after his butt. So what I got and what I plan to get, and I know I could get a 416. I could get a 458, I could get other things, but I got a 375, and the reason I have a 375 is I'm also planning to take some like eland, some roan, some other animals that are not necessarily dangerous, so I don't want to be an overkill, and the truth is I want to beat my shoulder to death. But let me tell you about the rifle we got today. We've got a Sako 85L Brown Bear. Now, it's got a laminate stock on it. Trying to keep the weather off of it, which should not be a problem in Africa, but we do. So I'm going to start up here on this end and kind of work my way back. You guys look at this big hooded side up here. Now it does come off, but unlike a Marlin or something, this thing's on there tight, got a really big white dot in it. As I come back, look where my sling attaches here on the barrel. It's not attached to the wood down here. I've got a free floated. If I had $1, which I don't, if I had $1, I'd show you that I could run a dollar bill down here and this would be free floated. Look at this big set of iron sights up on the top right here. This big set of iron sights, you know, this rifle is set up out of the box to take and hunt dangerous game where I do not have to have a set of scope on it. But like I said, if you guys remember, I just said I want to take this thing to shoot some smaller game, so I may have a little bit different range on it, some longer range where that open sight's not going to be good for an old man's eyes. So as we move back, here we got the scope setting up on it. Now this piece of glass here is a Vortex PFT Viper 1 to, I think it's 6, yeah, 1 to 6 by 24. It's got a 30mm tube on it. I've got it set, I believe, down pretty close to 0. I think it's a good piece of glass. I can turn it down to 1 when I get in that thick brush and when we got an opportunity to shoot the big buffalo. You know, so that's just the way that I think I'm going to run this thing. I've not hunted K buffalo before. We're going to, and then we're going to see what happens. Here it's a bolt action rifle, as you see, so I can slide that bolt back. And the one reason I picked the Sako was a couple reasons. I'll tell you why. One, I've had some other Sakos in 338 Win Mag. I've got one in 30-06. I got one 7mm 08. They're just extremely nice rifles. The bolt on it is smooth as silk. Really nice rifle. This is a magazine fed. And I'm going to load some stuff up inside with the magazine out, and I want to show you guys a few things about this rifle. One thing about it is once I lock this rifle down, I've got a safety here on the side like a lot of rifles. Safe, safe, fire, safe, fire. I also got a little button right there in front of that. I don't know if you can see this, right in front. I can actually push that down, remove the bolt, without having to take the weapon off safe. I think that's really nice. I like that. That's important. There are more and more rifles doing that, especially after a lot of you guys may or may not know a few years ago Remington 700 had a big problem with some accidental failures. It's a nice rifle. I like it. We'll check the trigger and stuff out on it. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and take the magazine out. Now to take the magazine out of this thing, you have to push up on the magazine and then pull this thing back. You can't just pull this back and the magazine's not gonna fall out of it. You have to actually push up and pull the lever back, then the magazine will drop out. So what we're having here is we don't have an accidental magazine failure on the weapon. It takes some intentional effort to get that magazine out. So you have to push it up and then drop it out. And another thing I want you to notice about this magazine. Metal, not plastic, metal. So Sako, you know, it costs a little bit of money to produce a weapon of this caliber, but remember again guys, pay a nickel for something to get a nickel's worth. So that's all said and good. Now, one of the really, really good reasons that I bought a Sako for a dangerous game rifle is, you know, it is controlled feed. Now, I'm gonna take a bolt out and give everybody a little bit of lesson on controlled feed versus push feed. So with a controlled feed, let me get my magazine. Try to reach over everything. So I got my, I'm gonna go ahead and load it up. 3, 4. Dropping everything. 4. I think it's 5. Not 4. So we got 4 in this bag, 1 in the chamber for 5 rounds of dangerous game. That's good. If I'm shooting a lot of rifles, if I have a push feed, as that magazine's sitting there, the bolt just kind of pushes the next magazine up into the chamber. Just pushes it. So you guys know how it works. It picks it, it pushes it in there, pushes the magazine, that in the chamber, and then the bolt closes over. That's fine, it's good and dandy and done. But what happens if you've got the rifle laying something like this? Or you've got the rifle at different angles and stuff. With a push feed, this thing can necessarily, you know, it could, and they do sometimes. I've got a Browning that I've had this problem with. It doesn't, I'll have a failure to feed. With a control feed, we'll do it with this one. The bolt doesn't just push it up. The bolt will actually grab the brass by the ring there, and look, I can't pull it off. It's stuck on there. So when I'm hunting dangerous game, I want a rifle that's gonna actually give me confidence and grab and extract and control, and it's gonna push it in there. It's gonna grab it and push it in there. It's not just gonna push it where it could potentially fall out. This thing's going in. Now, this thing doesn't control feed all the way. It waits until the round starts to come up, and then I grab it into control feed, but it's still control feed. I think a Winchester Model 70 has a control feed. I'm sure there's some others out there. But I also know some things like the Brownings and the Remingtons, they're just push feed. Are they cheaper rifles? Yes. Are they safe to hunt with? Sure they are. Unless something goes wrong. If something goes wrong, I don't want it to be because it was something wrong with my rifle. I want it to be because of something I could not have prepared for. If I can be prepared for something to go wrong, that's what I want to do. So, you guys will know now, and a lot of you already know what I mean by control feed and push feed, but I hope I've been able to demonstrate that. I've got control feed for hunting dangerous game. Let me put this back in. Magazine is out. We don't want to get any more of this loaded stuff. I'm going to do my traditional Sarge 1911 trigger pull on it and see what it's like. I'm pretty excited about the opportunity to get to use this. I hope I do. We don't ever know with our current pandemic situation what's going to happen. But my plan is to go hunting. 3.8 pounds. I like that. It's good. I don't want something too light. I don't want something too heavy. I think, of course, I've never hunted Cape buffalo before or any other dangerous game. I think I've got a really nice selection for what I want. It does weigh over 9 pounds, close to 9.5 pounds empty. That's going to be heavy. I don't know if you guys watch enough television to know, but you know, when you're hunting something like that, you don't need to have this thing on a sling on your shoulder. Would a sling be nice if you're carrying a 10-pound rifle? Absolutely. Am I going to have the opportunity to get a sling off of my back and shoulder the arm if I've got pissed off Cape buffalo? Maybe not. That's a chance I don't want to take. So, you know, the rifle will be carried in my hand. I may carry it over my shoulder. I may swap it back and forth, but I can't wear it slinged. I'm not going to put a sling on it. It's got to be ready to use. You know, we're talking about a serious situation where we got to have serious attitude. I like the rifle. I think, you know, I've got one identical to it in .338, which is not big enough. It doesn't meet the minimum requirement to hunt in Africa. The minimum is a .375. I could have went with a Winchester. The Winchester controlled feed. The truth is, when I got the Winchester Model 70 up, it just did not feel to have the quality that Sako rifle has. Boat was a little wobbly, wasn't quite as polished, trigger wasn't quite as good, and it was about 4 inches longer. This right here is going to allow me to get through the bush, especially if I'm moving around trees, walking around the bush. I can get through there and do what I want to do. That big, you know, that's a big bullet, 375 grain. You know, it's going to add a little bit more weight to the rifle, so we're going to be pushing right up there close to 10 pounds carrying this thing. It does have some recoil to it, but the weight of the rifle itself should, you know, I'm sure it does. It kind of helps us a little bit in doing that. I don't think there's much else. Got a nice rubber butt. The stock's laminate. You know, if you guys got any questions that I can answer, be sure, send them over to me, make your comments. But right now, I want to go outside, and this is not a bang, bang, bang. You know, this is more just going to be a bang, bang, bang. Okay, we're outside, kind of move around a little bit so we can get a little range on it. We're just at 100 yards out here. I think what we're going to do, I've got it loaded to the pipe. I got 1 chamber, 4 in a magazine. I think I'm going to shoot some and see what happens. One thing I noticed in here, guys, is this scope is really pretty tight to turn. I think I'm going to put a throw lever on it. You know, so if I get out here and I'm at that 40 yards, 100 yards, whatever, I got it down at a low 1 power so, but if that thing's running and moving, maybe I move from buffalo to a roan or whatever, I can throw that thing over, stretch it on out there to 6, get some yardage on it without it being so difficult to do. Just a little throw lever and see. You guys will get a look at that later when we do that. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and put my hearing protection on, and I'm going to shoot probably 4 or 5 rounds real quick. Here we go. Get down to a position, see if I can't get my teeth knocked loose. Definitely feel that recoil. Anticipating the recoil a little bit. It may not be helping me. All 5 rounds went down range. You'll see the weapon functions brilliantly. That trigger, just being what it is right there, is so light, and the anticipation of the recoil, that light trigger helps. You know, you want that thing to go off and surprise you. The only thing about that surprise is you feel that surprise. You know, I hope I can take the animals that I want to do with one round, and that sure beats getting the shit kicked out of me. What you say, huh? All right, I tell you what, let's go do. I'm gonna go cut this off for a minute. I'm gonna go examine a few things, and then we're gonna come back and do some more shooting. Huh. Okay, we walked down range, had a look. You know, I think the scope's on, but I'm gonna tell you what, it didn't group as well as I'd wanted. This thing probably got 2.5 to 3 inch group at 100 yards. Now, what I'm gonna, at least at this point, you know, get into discussion about that. What I'm shooting today is not what I'm shooting when I go hunting. Today, for demonstration purposes, I'm shooting this PPU ammo. It's very inexpensive for 375 H&H Magnum, but that's what I'm shooting today. You know, as I start getting closer and closer and closer to an actual hunting trip, I'll start shooting more and more often, and I'll make sure and shoot the exact same ammo that I'm going to shoot while I'm on that hunting trip. You know, for example, if I was going to shoot a 200 grain Federal Premium Nosler bullet bear hunting or elk hunting, that's exactly what I'm going to shoot as I'm practicing. So as I start getting closer and closer, you know, I'll move into that Barnes and start shooting it and shooting it and shooting it and practice and practice and practice. And yeah, it gets expensive, but you know, what's the cost of ammo versus the cost of missing a Cape Buffalo? You know, I'm just going to have to pay the price. What I'm going to do is load this up real quick with some of this cheaper stuff, and then I'm going to shoot off of this. I'm going to shoot off of this these shooting sticks. I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity to actually sit down and shoot my Cape Buffalo from a table. I don't think Mrs. Sarge 1911 is going to want to carry my table out there. See, I got this weapon on safe, still pointed down range. Now I want to load it up full so it only holds 5. So you see me chamber round, and then I'm going to go back and top this magazine off. I want as many as I can. Now, one thing I think it's a good idea if you can get one, you know, instead of having additional ammo crammed in your pocket, go ahead and get you an additional magazine, cram the whole magazine in your pocket. Will it cost you a little bit of money? Yes, but again, remember, we're shooting dangerous game. We're not shooting, you know, white-tailed deer or skunks, possum, or anything else. We're shooting something that wants to kill you and eat you and tear you to pieces, and you know, we got to be prepared. So let me go ahead and drop this down again. There you go. Now I got this magazine in. Let me lay this down while I put my hearing protection on. I think I might have one gong out there that'll handle this. I may try to hit it. So if you hear a ding, you hear a ding. If you don't, I've got a box down there. I'm shooting at a box. You know, the gongs are expensive. Everything's expensive, but point is, I'm fixing to shoot a few rounds. Let me go ahead and get on my shooting sticks. Let's see, I don't think my pH is gonna, well, I'll take that back. My pH has bent over and let me shoot off of his shoulder. So with a black wildebeest, it's funny and crap, but you know, we got the job done. So here we go. Let's light it up down there. Definitely hit the gong, knocked it apart. I'm not going to shoot the other gongs. I'm going to go ahead and try to shoot. I might be able to hit that gong again. I think I missed it. It's swinging. That gong's on the ground. So I'm getting good hits. Go, there's 5. You know, these things are not as expensive as some of the ammunition out there, but they are expensive. The recoil on this thing is pretty tough. I don't know if you guys, if I put one out yet or not on a 50 BMG, but the 50 BMG weighs, you know, close to 40 pounds, and we're talking only about less than 10 pounds here. So that 50 has less felt recoil than a 375 H&H. You know, I don't know that I'm man enough to shoot some of these guns out there, but I'm stubborn enough to try it. So what I'm gonna do is keep practicing, keep shooting. As I get closer, if the Lord bless me and let me go, me and the wife's gonna go over there. She'll take a camera and see if we can find some good pictures, maybe get a little video. And if we don't get to go, we don't get to go. You know, this is a kind of a dream hunt. A lot of people would like to participate. If I get to go, it's a true blessing. What I need to do right now is tell you guys, look down at the bottom, support my sponsors, Continental Computer. I hope to get some more sponsors real soon. Make sure always, guys, you know, we always try to shoot safe. We always try to shoot straight until we get to shoot again. Hooah.